Let's be honest, every single golfer wants it. That extra 20, 30, maybe even 40 yards off the tee. We buy the new clubs, we watch hours of videos. All of us are hunting for that one magic bullet. But what if the key to unlocking some serious distance isn't a secret move at all? What if it's about understanding the engine you already have? Well, today we're going to dive into the real science of speed.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? You're scrolling through YouTube at midnight, looking for that one tip that's going to click and magically add yards to your drives. That secret to dropping the club in the slot or shallowing out the shaft. But the truth is, you might be looking in the wrong place entirely.
You see, the real secret isn't a single, isolated move. It's about understanding how your body is built to generate power. The whole thing is a system. It's an engine. So today, we're going to pop the hood and take a look at exactly how that engine is supposed to work, piece by piece.
Okay, so before we can even start thinking about how to create speed, we have to know what we're actually trying to do. What does the golf ball need from us, from the club, at that critical moment of impact to fly as far as it possibly can? It really all comes down to physics. To really max out our distance, there are 5 key things that have to happen at impact. First up, quality of contact. This is totally non-negotiable. Hitting the center of the club face is everything. Next is just raw clubhead speed. After that, you've got attack angle, which for a driver means hitting up on the ball. Then we need the right amount of dynamic loft and side bend to launch it high with low spin. And finally, the whole thing has to be tied together by the correct kinematic sequence, which is just a fancy way of saying how your body transfers all that energy.
Let's just focus on clubhead speed for a second, because the payoff here is absolutely massive. For every single mile per hour of speed you can add, you gain roughly 2.5 to 3 yards of carry distance. Just think about that for a moment. An increase of just 5 miles per hour could mean you're hitting 1, maybe even 2 clubs less into the green. Now that is a game changer.
So, the big question is, where does that crucial speed actually come from? It's not about just swinging your arms harder and faster. The real source of power in the golf swing starts from the one thing you are always connected to, the ground. This is the absolute foundation of your entire engine.
You probably remember this one from high school physics class, right? And believe it or not, it is the single most important principle for generating power in golf. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This isn't just some abstract theory. It is the law that literally governs how you create force.
So what does that actually mean for your swing? Well, when you hear golf instructors talk about how the pros use the ground, this is exactly what they're doing. They're actively pushing force down into the ground, and because of Newton's law, the ground pushes that force right back up into their body. The harder you push down, the more energy you get back to fuel your swing. It's that simple.
Okay, so we've got all this energy coming up from the ground. Now, what do we do with it? How do we channel it all the way from our feet to the club head? Well, the key is to turn your body into a whip, transferring that energy efficiently right up the chain.
Now listen up, because this is a really crucial point that so many amateur golfers get wrong. The very first move to start your downswing is not turning your hips. It's a lateral shift of pressure toward the target. You have to move into your lead side first. That's how you properly load the ground and get your body ready to rotate.
And why is this shift then rotate sequence so important? Because by shifting first while keeping your upper body turned back, you create this incredible stretch across your core. Think of it like loading a giant spring. Without that initial shift, you just can't build up the tension you need to rotate explosively.
So once you've shifted, the rotation can begin, starting from the ground up. First, the hips fire, and then, and this is key, they slow down, passing their energy to the torso. Then the torso fires and slows down, passing it to the arms. And finally, the arms pass it to the club. It's just like cracking a whip. Each segment accelerates and then decelerates, multiplying the speed of the one before it, unleashing incredible velocity right at the golf ball.
Now for the final polish that really multiplies all this power. First, you need some side bend. This tilts your upper body and keeps the club on that ideal upward inside-out path for a driver. Second, you gotta maintain your wrist angles. You have to resist that urge to throw the club from the top. That stores that final burst of energy, releasing it like a slingshot right at the bottom of the swing.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, right? We've talked about impact physics, ground reaction forces, the whole kinematic sequence. But if we had to boil it all down to the one single move that unlocks the entire engine, what would it be?
This is it. This is the move. Shift, then rotate. The lateral shift loads the engine by pushing into the ground. The explosive rotation then unleashes all that energy through the whip.
This simple two-part move is the transition that separates powerful, efficient swings from weak, disconnected ones. It is the absolute core of the entire machine. Look, if you remember nothing else from all of this, please remember this. Your instinct might be to just swing harder with your arms and your hands. But real, sustainable speed starts from the ground up. You have to load from the ground to explode through the ball.
So here's the deal. Your blueprint for more distance really has 3 parts. First, learn to actually feel yourself pushing into the ground to get that energy back. Second, make absolutely sure your first move down is a lateral shift, not a spin. And third, just allow that energy to transfer up the chain, hips, torso, arms, club. Let the whip crack. Understanding the science, the biomechanics, is a huge first step. But the real challenge, the real fun, is taking this knowledge from your head and translating it into an actual feeling in your body. Now that you know how the engine works, how are you going to take it out for a spin?